So yes, I believe live start हो गया है. It would come with a delay of some seconds, है ना. लाइव स्टार्ट हो गया और इसका लिंक यहाँ से मैं निकाल सकता हूँ क्या? आई डू नॉट थिंक सो. ओके, मेरे को किसी का भी माइक अनम्यूटेड नहीं दिख रहा है. रेज हैंड का मतलब यहाँ पे माइक अनम्यूट या फिर वीडियो ऑन करके हैंड रेज करें. नहीं. ओके, चलिए प्रेयर मैं स्टार्ट करता हूँ. लैक ऑफ कम्युनिकेशन है. प्रेयर तो कोई करना चाह रहे होंगे पर कोई नहीं. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामीति नामिने. नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य दिशतारिणे. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे. हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे. हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे. हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna. So we have to start from this paragraph. We will be starting a paragraph above before this. So those who want to read may write in the chat box. Yeah, may on their webcam or write in the chat box. Two options. Good. Okay. So this is like that only. Then this is good. I did not know about this feature of this Google Meet. Earlier what used to happen, the whole screen used to get pop up. Now this reading screen is getting popped up. This is completely fine. Can I hide this one? Can I hide this one? No. The above tab, if I could hide this one too, it would be very good. The complete screen is there. Good. Okay, I believe the YouTube live link has been shared. Is it so? Okay, everyone is muted. Okay, let me get the control from you. Turn off their microphone. Yeah, everyone can unmute now. Yes. Hare Krishna. Audible?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Very good. So, what should we do? Should we start reading now? Yeah. Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji.
As we always do, we will be starting one paragraph before this, from where we left. So, Shweta, I believe you are up for reading, right? Please start from here.
Hare Krishna. Saintly Vasudeva, after hearing all the sages, offered his respectful obeisances unto their lotus feet. In this way he pleased the sages, and then he requested them to perform the yajnas. When the sages were selected as priests of the sacrifices, they in turn induced Vasudeva to collect the required paraphernalia for executing the yajnas in that place of pilgrimage. When Vasudeva was thus persuaded to start to perform the yajnas, all the members of the Yadu dynasty took their baths, brushed themselves very nicely, decorated themselves beautifully, and garlanded themselves with lotus flowers. Vasudeva's wives, dressed with nice garments and ornaments and golden necklaces, approached the arena of sacrifice, carrying in their hands the required articles to offer in the sacrifice. When everything was complete, there was heard the vibration of mridangas, conch shells, cattle drums, and other musical instruments. Professional dancers, both male and female, began to dance. The Sutas and Maghadas who were professional singers, began to offer prayers by singing. And the Gandharvas and their wives, whose voices were very sweet, began to sing many auspicious songs. Vasudev anointed his eyes with black cosmetic, smeared butter over his body, and then, along with his 18 wives, headed by Devaki, sat before the priest to be purified by the Abhishek ceremony. While the ceremony was being observed strictly according to the principles of the scriptures, Vasudev resembled the moon encircled by stars. Because he was being initiated for the sacrifice, he was dressed in a deer skin, but all his wives were dressed with very nice saris, bangles, necklaces, ankle bells, earrings, and with ankle bells, earrings, and many other ornaments. Vasudev looked very beautiful, surrounded by his wives, exactly like the king of heaven when he performs such sacrifices. At that time, when Lord Krishna and Lord Balrama, along with their wives, children, and relatives, sat down in that great sacrificial arena, it appeared that the Supreme Personality of Godhead was present along with all the living entities and multi-energies that are part of him. We have heard from the Shastras that Lord Krishna has multi-energies in parts and parcels. But now in that sacrificial arena, all could actually experience how the Supreme Personality of Godhead eternally exists with his different energies. At that time, Lord Krishna appeared as Lord Narayana and Lord Balrama appeared as Sankarsana, the reservoir of all living entities. Vasudev satisfied Lord Vishnu by performing different kinds of sacrifices such as Jyoti Stoma and Darsh
Darshan.
Purnamasa. Some of these yajnas are called Prakrit and some of them are known as Satra or Vakrita. Thereafter, the other sacrifices known as Agnihotra were also performed, and the prescribed articles were offered in the proper way. Thus, Lord Vishnu was pleased. The ultimate purpose of offering oblations and sacrifice is to please Lord Vishnu, but in this age of Kali, it is very difficult to collect the different articles required for offering sacrifices. People have neither the means to collect the required paraphernalia nor the necessary knowledge or tendency to offer such sacrifices. Therefore, in this age of Kali, when people are mostly unfortunate, full of anxieties, and disturbed by various kinds of calamities, the only sacrifice recommended is the performance of Sankirtana Yajna. Worshipping Lord Chaitanya by the Sankirtana Yajna is the only recommended process in this age.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, uh, yes. First, let's continue. Uh, Rather, let me tell you the function how I am understanding. So, there could be two ways. One, I could log in from another device and I could use that. So that is possible. Now there is another way that I am not able to see my screen. My screen is frozen, and what you are seeing on the screen, I am seeing that only. So this is another way. Now this makes me uncomfortable when I am just seeing the screen. I do not know whether anyone is there or not, who is hearing, who is not, what is happening. New ways. But this is when it would go live on this one YouTube, it would look very beautiful, very beautiful. Yeah, the screen is there, everything is getting presented, and it's very beautiful. Okay, it does not look like a Zoom meeting or maybe a Google Meet meeting. It does not look like that. It looks like it is right now YouTube Live only. I'm focusing on only YouTube Live, so that is a special this one appearance, whatever. Okay, only one thing is missing. The speaker's mic should be available. I don't know if this is possible or not. Am I demanding too much from this one? Google Meet. If only speaker's mic is available, then it would be better that okay, this person is speaking. Else, there would be speculation only. Yeah. Okay, let's continue. Now, what we are seeing is Vasudeva is performing sacrifice, right? And he is performing sacrifice in the very right manner. Now, the problem in the age of Kali is that we do not know how to do sacrifice. What is sacrifice? We do not know. Right? In this age of Kali, we do not know. And there's mental speculation all around. Yeah. Now, very important thing. What we need to understand is that whatever we do, whatever acts we are performing, we are doing only for the pleasure of Krishna. If Krishna is not pleased, then we would not be doing. If Krishna is pleased, then we would definitely be doing. That's the only rule that we are following. Yeah. And honestly speaking, we do not know how to please Krishna. So we have no idea. We have no idea how would we please Krishna. How Krishna would be pleased by us. We have no idea. In this scenario, suppose you are doing something and you do not have any idea. What would you do? You are doing something but you do not have any idea. What would you do? Nothing. Because you do not have any idea. You do not know what is good or not. Yeah. So that's the situation in this age of Kali Yuga, that we do not know, we have no idea. We just keep on contemplating. Yeah. And this contemplation would not take us anywhere. That's the hardest part. So what is the way out? When we do not have any idea of what we are doing, how we are doing, where would we go? Yeah. What is the way out? The way out is just one. Nothing else. Just one. What is that way? We have to surrender onto the lotus feet of our Guru. We have to surrender onto Krishna. Unless we are doing that, there is no respite. Yeah. Okay. Continuing from here. So in this age of Kali, when we surrender onto the lotus feet of Guru and Krishna, we are in the Guru Shishya Parampara. And this Nam Kirtan or the Sankirtana movement has been re-established by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Following the footsteps of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we have to be fully devoted for the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. We should be surrendered and devoted, and we should just seek mercy. And chant the holy names of the Lord. And we should be very much fixated upon this fact that we would definitely come out of this material existence of life. Yeah. Let me continue from here. I see Shweta and me only. Okay. Who could read? Anyone who wants to read may write in the chat box. Else I am continuing. So the only yagna prescribed in Kali is Sankirtan Yagna or Hare Krishna Mahamantra. After the performance of different sacrifices, Vasudeva offered ample riches, clothing, ornament, cows, lands, and maidservants to the priest. Thereafter, look, there must be many people who would feel like, and in this age of Kali, right, people always understand it very wrong. Now just try and understand from whatever facts are there in front of you. Just try and understand and see what is correct and not. See for yourself. Yeah. So it is who? It is Vasudev. And Vasudev is doing what? Vasudev is giving riches. Huh? Are you seeing this? Riches. Why would Brahmana need riches? Look, we are not here to contemplate why would they need. If there is a Brahmana, and if he is a Brahmana, definitely he would not be misusing whatever we are giving. Yeah. Everyone has his or her requirement, and they need to fulfill with the resources that they have. Now there are two ways of finding resources. Either you find for yourself, or someone finds it for you. A 3-year-old child cannot find the food for himself, so the mother finds him finds the food for him, or the father gives the food to that little child. When the child grows big, into a young child, now the mother only tells, okay, there is the food, go and have it. Yeah, mother does not feed him with a spoon. When the child grows further old into a man, now the mother says, you should know where to find food from. Go and buy and prepare and eat. When the child goes further old and mother and father too gets old, the same child, the same little child, now he is a very, very matured person. Now his own mother and father would say, oh dear child, I do not know what to eat. Could you please provide me some food? I do not have energy to prepare food. Yeah. So look at the cycle shift. The same little child once was foundling. He did not know where to find help from. And the same little child, when grows matured, then he must help. Yeah. So the idea is that we must be helped either by ourselves or by someone. Yeah. And definitely when we are getting help, definitely it is true that His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada also says that we have the tendency to serve. The only choice that we have is whom to serve. The choice is not whether we would serve or not, we would definitely serve. Everyone is serving. Everyone is serving someone or the other. At no point we are not serving someone or the other. We are definitely serving someone. Yeah. So when Vasudev is serving Brahmanas, he is getting elevated. Yeah. After the performance of different sacrifices, Vasudev offered ample riches, clothing, ornament, cows, land, and maidservant to the priest. Thereafter, all the wives of Vasudev took their Arya Bharta baths and perform the parts of sacrificial duties known as Patni Samjeva Samjeja. Should be Yagna. Samyagna. Samyaja. Okay. Known as Patni Samyaja. After finishing the offering with all the required paraphernalia, they all took their baths together in the lake constructed by Parshuram, which is known as Ram Hriday. After Vasudev and his wife took their bath, all the garments and ornaments they had worn were distributed to the substitute persons engaged in singing and dancing and similar activities. We may note that the performance of sacrifice necessitates the profuse distribution of riches. Yeah, profuse means abundance. Very much. Yeah. So, just a minute. A lot of riches is getting distributed. A lot of money is getting distributed. Yeah. Yes. Just a minute. Where were we? Okay. After Vasudeva and his wife took their baths and all the garments and ornaments they had worn were distributed to the subordinate persons engaged in singing and dancing and similar activities, we may note that the performance of sacrifice necessitates the profuse distribution of riches. Charity is offered to the priests and the brahmanas in the beginning, and used garments and ornaments are offered in charity to the subordinate assistants after the performance of the sacrifice. After offering the used articles, the singers and reciters, Vasudeva and his wife, dressed with new ornaments and garments, fed everyone very sumptuously, from the brahmanas down to the dogs. After this, all the friends, family members, wives, and children of Vasudeva assembled together, along with the kings and members of the Vidarbha, Kaushala, Kuru, Kashi, Kekai, and Srinjaya dynasty, the priests and the demigods, the people in general, the forefathers, the ghosts, and the Charanath were all sufficiently remunerated by being offered ample gifts and respectful honor. Then all the persons assembled there took permission from Lord Krishna and husband of the goddess of fortune, and while glorifying the perfection of the sacrifice made by Vasudeva, they departed from their respective homes. At that time, when King Dhritarashtra, Vidura, Yudhishthira, Bhima, Arjuna, Bhimsen, Dronacharya, Kunti, Nakula, Sahadev, Narada, Lord Vyasdeva and many other relatives of the kinsmen were about to depart, they felt separation and therefore they embraced each other, each and every member of the Yadu dynasty, with great feeling. Many others who were assembled in the sacrificial arena also departed. After this, Lord Krishna and Balarama, along with King Ugrasena, satisfied the inhabitants of Vrindavana, headed by Maharaj Nanda and the cowherd men, by profusely offering all kinds of gifts to worship them and please them. Out of their great feeling of friendship, the inhabitants of Vrindavana remained there for a considerable time with the member of the Yadu dynasty. So what happened? A sacrifice was done, and thereafter they were about to depart. And when they were departing, they were feeling separation. Yeah. Okay. After performing the sacrifice, Vasudeva felt so satisfied that there was no limit of happiness. All the members of his family were with him, and in their presence, he caught hold of the hands of Nanda Maharaj and addressed him thus: "My dear brother, the Supreme Personality of Godhead has created a great tie of bondage known as bondage of love and affection. I think that it is very difficult job for even the great sages and saintly person to cut such a tie of love. My dear brother, you have exhibited feelings of love for me that I have not been able to return. My screen is blank now. I think therefore that I am ungrateful. You have behave exactly as is character of saintly person, but I shall never be able to repay you. I have no means to repay you for your friendly dealings. Nevertheless, I am confident that our tie of love will never break. Our friendship must continue in spite of the inability to repay my inability to repay you. I hope that you will excuse me for this inability. So what happened? Vasudev was talking to Nanda Maharaj after doing all these sacrifices, and it was time for them to depart. He was thanking Nanda Maharaj, in fact. Both are grateful of each other. Vasudev is grateful of Nanda Maharaj because Nanda Maharaj took care of Krishna. Yeah, he could not thank enough. Never thank enough. Yeah. So Vasudev was very grateful of Nanda Maharaj, and Nanda Maharaj was grateful of Vasudev because he had no possibility of being with Krishna except for the mercy of Vasudev. Yeah, actually, this is the quality of a devotee. A devotee would always be grateful, always thank whom? Other devotees. Yeah, a devotee would never think himself to be very high. He would always thank other devotees. Yeah. And now is the time. Every week, same thing. Yeah, 30 minutes up, my head would start rolling. Okay, I think therefore I am ungrateful. You have behaved exactly as the characteristic of saintly persons, but I shall never be able to repay you. I have no means to repay you for your friendly dealings. Nevertheless, I am confident that our tie of love will never break. Our friendship must ever continue in spite of my inability to repay you. I hope you will excuse me for this inability. Yeah. My dear brother, in the beginning, due to my being imprisoned, I could never serve you as a friend. And although at present moment I am very opulent because of my material prosperity, I have become blind. I therefore cannot satisfy you properly even at this time. My dear brother, you are so nice and gentle that you offer all respect to others, but not care for any respect for yourself. A person seeking auspicious progress in life must avoid possessing too much material opulence. Actually, too much material opulence is written only because the person would be trying. If the person is situated in transcendental position, in a spiritual position, he just sees Krishna. If that is the position, then he would not be bothered about material possession at all. Zero. So, a person seeking auspicious progress, then he should avoid, he should reduce material opulence. Yeah, so that he
he will not become blind and puffed up, and he should take care of his family and relatives. When Vasudeva was speaking to Nanda Maharaj in this way, he was influenced by a great feeling for the friendship of Nanda Maharaj. And the beneficial activity is executed by King Nanda on his behalf. As such, his eyes filled with tears and he began to cry. Nanda Maharaj, desiring to please his friend Vasudeva and being affectionately bound with love for Vasudeva and Balram, passed 3 months in their association. At the time, at the end of this time, all the members of the Yadu dynasty tried to please the inhabitants of Vrindavan to their heart's content. The member of the Yadu dynasty tried to satisfy Nand Maharaj and his associate by offering them clothing, ornaments, and many other valuable articles, and they all became fully satisfied. Vasudeva, Ugrasena, Lord Krishna, Lord Balram, Uddhava, and all other members of the Yadu dynasty presented their individual gift to Nand Maharaj and his associate. After Nand Maharaj received these farewell presentation, he, along with the associates, started from Vrajbhumi. Yeah. Now Nand Maharaj is going back to Vrajbhumi. Yeah. What is that Vrajbhumi? Vrindavan. The minds of the inhabitants of Vrindavan remain, however, with Krishna and Balram, and therefore all of them started from Vrindavan without their minds. Now, please try and understand, this is perfection. Now, if we do this in material world, we would be called fools, we would be called mads, we would be called names, we would be laughed upon, people would make fun of us. Yes, that's the situation. Now someone who would say that my mind is not working, what would you say? What would you tell them? How would you look at those people? Definitely you would say that you are a fool. You are a mad person. Your mind is not working. You are a mad person then. Yeah. This is what we would say. But is it the reality? No. Please try and understand, we have 5 senses and mind, intelligence and false ego, 3 other senses. These all 8 has to be surrendered to Krishna. Now someone who is not surrendering to Krishna, then he must surrender to Krishna. Right? These residents of Vrindavana already surrendered these things to Krishna, which is actually very good. That is what you have to do. Initially or eventually you have to surrender each and everything to Krishna. Everything belongs to Rishikesh, master of senses, owner of senses. So everything has to culminate in Krishna only. We saw that in Bhagavad Gita. Yeah. So if we use our senses for Krishna, then it's perfection. Yeah. Hare Krishna. Anyone who wants to read? Okay. Shraddha, yes. Then the members of the Vrishni.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. When the members of the Vrishni family saw all their friends and visitors departing, they observed that the rainy season was approaching, and thus they decided to return to Dwarka. They were fully satisfied, for they regarded Krishna as everything. When they returned to Dwarka, they described with great satisfaction and sacrifice performed by Vasudeva their meeting with various friends and well-wishers and various incidents that had occurred during their travels in the places of pilgrimage. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of the 84th chapter of Krishna, sacrificial ceremonies performed by Vasudeva.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Yes, let's chant Hare Krishna mantra 3 times. Actually, I'm feeling a feet and giddiness at the same time. Actually, when you would be feeling giddiness, it would always happen that you would feel a feet. Okay. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna again. So, thus we ended 84th chapter. Now, what was 84th chapter? It was the sacrifices performed by Vasudeva. Yeah. Vasudeva was not able to perform sacrifices when Krishna was born. Actually, what happens? Just after the son is born, we perform sacrifice. But this was not the case with Vasudeva. Vasudeva was not able to do it. Yeah. He was not able to do so because this. So Vasudeva was not able to do so because he was jailed. He was in the jail that time. So he was not able to perform sacrifices yet. Yeah. So this is how we ended the chapter. Now moving on to chapter 85. Yeah. Those who want to read may raise their hand, or I would be continuing. It's 2:38. Today, for a rare occasion, I'm looking at when we would be ending. So this is chapter 85. A spiritual instruction by Vasudeva and the return of 6 dead sons of Devaki by Lord Krishna. It is a Vedic custom that a junior member of the family should offer respects to the elder every morning. The children or disciples especially should offer their respects to their parents and spiritual master in the morning. In pursuance of the Vedic principle, Lord Krishna and Balaram used to offer their respectful obeisances to their parents, Vasudeva and Devaki. Actually, Krishna and Balaram are not bound by any rules. They are God themselves. They are not required to perform any sacrifice or do any work in any particular fashion. But they would still do it. Yeah, they would still do it. Now, why would they do? What is the reason that they perform sacrifices? They would talk to their rather they would offer their respectful obeisances. Krishna was not required to even have a guru, because every knowledge is coming from Krishna only. A guru is one who guides us to the spiritual path to Krishna. Now Krishna is himself Krishna. Yeah. So how would Guru guide Krishna? But no, Krishna chose that he must be surrendered to a Guru. Yeah, it was not that Krishna was required to, but Krishna chose to. Actually, these all dealings, Krishna offering his respectful obeisances, Krishna surrendering on to Guru, Krishna is doing some work Krishna does not have any prescribed duty to perform, but Krishna doing some work all the time. Actually, this was for the elevation of general masses. Now, once we are surrendered on to Krishna, then we are able to elevate ourselves. When we are not surrendered on to Krishna, we would never be able to elevate ourselves. Now, from Bhagavad Gita, we know that whatever a leader performs, a common man follows. So, Krishna, as a good leader, is performing his work in a manner that should be used as an example, exemplary act, Krishna's exemplary act, for the elevation. So that's the whole reason why Krishna does all these work. One day, after having returned from the sacrificial performances at Kurukshetra, again sacrifice is performed. Krishna is not required to perform any sacrifice, because Krishna himself mentioned this in Bhagavad Gita. Who is the enjoyer of all the sacrifice? He himself. Right. Now think of this. Krishna is performing sacrifice. Performing sacrifice for what? Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, this is really funny. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that I do not have any desire to be fulfilled. No objectives to be fulfilled. So Krishna is performing some sacrifice. Now sacrifices are performed to get something, right? Either material or spiritual. At no point can we be doing any work without any reason. We have some reason, right? Even for that matter, I am breathing. So I am breathing so that the whole body gets the oxygen, right? Whatever we are doing, we are performing for some reason. Yes. Now, mode of ignorance, people would say, no, I do not have any reason. We all have a reason. Often, it is very, very often, people ask us, what are you doing? I am doing nothing. It is not possible to do nothing even for a second. You must be doing something. You are not able to put that in words. That is a different thing. Or you do not want me or anyone to know it. That is a different thing. But there is nothing called nothing. So we all are doing some work all the time, any second of our life. There is no second in our life that when we are doing nothing. Krishna has never made us to do nothing. Krishna has made us to do something. Whether we understand, accept or not, that is a different thing. But Krishna has always made us to do something. Okay. So, getting back. One day, after returning from the sacrificial performances at Kurukshetra, when Lord Krishna and Balarama went to offer their respectful respects to Vasudeva, and Vasudeva took the opportunity to appreciate the exalted position of his two sons. Vasudeva had the opportunity to understand the position of Krishna and Balaram from the great sages who had assembled in the arena of the sacrifice. No one did he hear. Not only did he hear from the great sages, but on many occasions he actually experienced that Krishna and Balarama were not ordinary human beings, but were very extraordinary. So everyone would know this, but no one would be able to remember this, because Maya would act. Yoga Maya would act. and they would not be able to remember anything. Everyone would see, but no one would remember. Vasudev on the other hand, would remember it. Yeah. Thus he believed the words of the great sages, and his sons Krishna and Balaram were the Supreme Personality of Godhead. With a firm faith in his sons, he addressed them thus: My dear Krishna, you are the Satchitananda Vigraha, Supreme Personality of Godhead, and my dear Balarama, you are Sankarshana, the Master of mystic powers. Therefore, I have now understood that you are eternal. Both of you are transcendental to this material manifestation and to its cause, the Supreme Person, Mahavishnu. You are the original controller of all. You are the resting place of this cosmic manifestation. You are the creator, and you are also the creative ingredient. You are the master of the cosmic manifestation, and actually this manifestation is created for your pastimes only. Yeah. Anyone wants to read the different material phases? Hare Krishna. My voice is breaking. Is it? Was it
No,
that?
Prabhuji. Your voice is clear.
Okay. You want to read the different material
Yes,
phases?
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. The different material phases that are manifest from the beginning to the end of the cosmos under different formulas of time are also yourself, because you are both the cause and effect of this manifestation. The two features of this material world, the predominator and the predominated, are also you, and you are the supreme transcendental controller who stands above them. Therefore, you are beyond the perception of our senses. You are the supreme soul, unborn and unchanging. You are not affected by the six kinds of transformations which occur in the material body. The wonderful varieties of this material world are also created by you, and you have entered as the supersoul into all of them, down to the atom. You are the vital force of all these manifestations and also their supreme cognition. As such, you are the maintainer of everything. The vital force, the life principle in everything, and the creative force derived from it are not acting independently, but are dependent upon you, the supreme person behind these forces. Without your will, they cannot work. Material energy has no cognizance. It cannot act independently without being agitated by you. Because the material nature is dependent upon you, the living entities can only attempt to act, but without your sanction and will, they cannot perform anything or achieve the results they desire.
Hare
The
Krishna,
original
Hare Krishna. We may try to do whatever we want to, but unless there is sanction of Krishna, unless there is approval of Krishna, nothing would happen. We can only try, but we would not succeed. Now, for different personalities, different situation arises. And it should not be considered that someone who is struggling, that is a lower person, or someone who is not struggling, that is a higher person. Now, these conclusions are incorrect. Actually, it all depends upon your connect with that kind of position or that kind of work that is getting performed. Suppose a material work is getting performed and you are not at all interested, then your material characteristics are low, right? If suppose you are not able to do a material work, then it is not like you are a lower person or a higher person or whatever. You should not assume that. It's just that your material qualities are low. Yeah? And that too, when your material qualities are low, you should not be feeling very high of yourself, because it might be that because of previous birth your material qualities are low. You did not perform well in last birth, or else in last birth itself you would have gone to Krishna Loka. Rather than feeling proud of yourself, we should feel pathetic about ourselves that despite knowing all these things, we were not able to do bhakti in last birth itself. We should have. Right? Having little knowledge but 100% devotion, 100% dedication towards Krishna. We are destined to be successful. There is no possibility that we would not be successful. That surrenderance should be 100%. Right? Unless we have surrenderance, I was just talking about this to a devotee today. Right? Unless we have surrenderance, there is no bhakti. Why we should be doing bhakti? Should we be doing bhakti because I want to do bhakti? No! Then you would never be able to do bhakti. In fact, we are not able to do one single thing in that manner. Forget bhakti. If you look closer, we are not able to love anyone in that manner. Because I want to love, I am loving you. No! Because I consider you as special and I want to make you feel special, so I am loving you. A mother loves his child because she wants to make her child feel special. Not that she wants to feel special of herself. Right? The problem is that we see ourselves as enjoyer, but we are servants. Right now, what we saw, mother is serving her child and feeling special. We serve Krishna and feel special. Krishna serves devotees and feel special. Love is about serving. Love is not about enjoying. This is basic fact which is incorrect. If we are wrong in this basic fact, we will not be able to do bhakti ever. And forget bhakti. Whatever we would be doing, we would be doing in mode of ignorance. Yeah? So what is required is that we open eyes and see things as they are. Rather than being in mode of illusion, mode of ignorance, we should see things as they are. And we would end this one. And Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Am I audible? Okay, good. Yes. Should I just complete this one? But even if I complete this paragraph, my dear Lord, we have to re-continue from this paragraph. My dear Lord. Okay. Even if we continue, next paragraph is coming. And I do not feel like we should continue. Okay. That's it. Let's do Vaishnav Pranam Mantra. Anyone who wants to do Vaishnav Pranam Mantra? No? Yeah. Shweta.
Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam pavanebhyo वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः।
अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की
जय।
डिवाइन कृष्ण प्रपात की
जय।
भगवद गीता की
जय
जय।
श्रीमद् भागवतम की
जय।
सभी भक्तों की
जय
जय।
जय।
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम 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 हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम हरे हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण एवरीवन सॉरी फॉर एंडिंग